It's my first time actually watching this trailer, and I must say this is underwhelming.
I literally said that.
I am so disappointed.
Really?
Also,
You?
bro, you do know you were recording, bro. This is on record.
Yeah, and, this can be on
Conscious
record.
hypocrisy is a fun thing,
Like
but
I
somebody's
miss his
gonna hit
old
you with the
stuff. I miss his old
oh.
stuff. I don't like this new Snyder.
Ah,
Really, nigga?
Okay.
Nah, seriously, because
Okay.
what am I looking at here compared to the majestic, philosophical?
And like, yeah, bro, like
philosophical
this ain't no sucker punch, right? This ain't no sucker punch.
at all.
You know,
Like, yeah.
Ah, the scene is so stupid. Like already, it's just like it's the way the guy jumps on the griffin.
Bro, don't
That's
even
so
get me
it's
started,
so
bro.
stupid, bro.
Don't even get me started.
This trailer or whatever, right? Rebel Moon as a concept is too self-indulgent. I can see already from the trailer alone, there's some shots that exist just to make you go, wow, that's a nice shot. That's all it's there for. It doesn't do anything else. Why would you make a movie like that? This is exactly what Delito keeps complaining about Snyder about. That he says this man knows how to make a scene. He does not know how to connect them and make a movie.
speaking
And
of
this is,
scenes
yes.
like that, you see most the scene where that one lady's doing that whole that Star Wars thing. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
now and she was like fighting an arachnid lady. By the way, shout out to arachnid lady.
I beg your.
And I was wondering, where are those lightsaber looking things? Were they just there for show? Because I mean,
Aren't they off at that point? I feel like they're off.
if that's the case, then why even put him on for dramatic flair? Why? You- unless there's like a mechanism and it was probably got like, oh
Maybe
no,
there's some
it's off.
reason. You don't know. Maybe maybe the spider chick spat on it.
Wow.
Yeah, boy.
You can't see me, but
I'm not gonna dwell on that, but like that reminds me when you guys are talking about like the shots and stuff. Somebody on Twitter mentioned how the movie looks great, and I retweeted it. I think I was telling Slumsky about this, in the in the
Governor,
background, and
Governor Schlumsky.
yes, I was telling the governor about this in offline, and like a lot of people always have this thing to say about Snyder stuff. Where it's like it looks great, what a good shot, the cinematography, oh my god. And I retweeted that saying like, why do people always have that to say about his stuff? Like it's like
Because they have
why?
nothing else to say.
Almost as if they have nothing else to say, right? One of my mutuals, really good mute of mine, cool dude. Shout out Smithy if you're watching this video. He was like, that's because it doesn't even look good to begin with. I don't even know what this person is talking about, you know. So, but yeah, it's just that thing of like it just looks good and you have nothing else to say. I watched this trailer and I was like, this looks great. The it looks great. The it looks good. The VFX, the CGI, wow. But it just looks like a Snyder project. Okay, cool.
You know, when you said "wow" just now, it felt so disingenuous. I pictured that boy who's like typing on the computer, and then he like looks at the camera and he does the thumbs up. It felt
Oh yeah,
like
the
that when you
thumbs
said
up.
"wow." It's just like "wow," thumbs up.
Man, because
uh,
like, bro, for me it's like with Snyder does the symbolism cock, man. Like, like the scene we mentioned about the guy jumping on the griffin, him touching the griffin's
Obviously,
head,
it's
and like
symbolic for
it's
his freedom, guys. He's taking the chains off and he's leaving. You know, spreading his wings, leaving the nest, starting a
it
new life,
seems like
guys.
that. It seems like when they're carrying that the dead dude in the church, right? And then
Uh,
Anthony Hoskins is talking about how like a king that I can't serve, and it's like, why can't you serve this king? I don't know what the hell's going on, man.
Holmes is dead. That's why he can't be
okay.
served.
Holmes is like being carried in a church. I don't know, man.
Yo, hold on. You remember when we talked about that scene where the dude is like jumping onto that? I think it was a griffin, right?
Yeah.
Now, for some reason, looking at that scene, I'm like, yo, my guy, are you trying to copy Luffy? Because that scene is his pose, the sun, the dragon. Okay, sorry, dragon, the griffin.
Spoilers.
looking there. I'm like, yo,
Spoilers?
oh, God.
Wow.
Oh, God. My guy.
Wow,
Oh,
come
God.
on, bro. Snyder was trying to be discreet about it. Snyder was like trying to tell us about the sun god, and you were like, nah, I'm just gonna expose. Come on, fam.
Mika.
Nah, guys, read the manga. Trust. Anime
Fam, come
only.
on,
Sons of
bro.
Liberation.
You guys think this
Uh,
is a coincidence, bro? Both Snyder was there when they were working on One Piece. They both
he
working for
probably
Netflix, bro. He was
he
there.
probably tried telling Oda, why don't you have a director's
Why don't
cut
you
of your
why don't
movie
you
for this
crucify
TV show?
Luffy and then have
Jesus.
him be revealed as the sun god? Then reveal him as the sun god, right?
He probably thought,
After
like
after he dies, of course, and then he revives.
Yeah.
he probably told
Oh,
Oda, I also worked on a character who like had a strong connection with the sun. I can give you tips.
I can give you tips, bro. Stan is just in the corner of a bar somewhere, and Oda's just minding his business, and he's like, "Hey, you work on a guy connected to the sun? Me too."
Then Oda's like, I mean, not really. He's called the sun god, but like he's not really. Never mind.
Uh,
although I will try to give Snyder some props. The fact that he broke this up into two movies instead of making it one long ass movie, I will
Can
give
can
him.
we can we
Was I
please
oh, we're
mean,
talk
gonna give
about
him props for that.
Snyder's
I mean,
like indecision of breaking stuff into parts and the goddamn director's cuts.
So we kind of open here like with this grass field or wheat field or something like that, and it's like this soldier who's like putting their hands over the wheat and stuff. I want to ask you guys, like, what the f is going on already? Like, I just don't know what's going on. Is this just supposed to be dramatic? Like, oh, look at this guy, he's in a field,
Touching wheat.
and
Shout
he's
out Wheat
like,
Bix.
is he like connecting with the people around him who's like, oh man, I used to be a farmer. What's happening here, bro? Why is bro in the field?
I want you guys to keep in mind that there's a scene in a certain movie called Batman versus Superman,
Where he's in the
right?
field.
Where he's in a field, right? It's either that one or Justice League, where he's in a field. Clark's
I
in a
think it's
field.
Justice League, right? When he gets revived
Yes.
and it goes to
And
the cornfield.
he's wearing the oversized shirt and pants, and he's like in the cornfield looking at the sun. And
massive injustice, by the way.
yeah, like just keep that in mind that that scene exists, and now so does this one.
Yeah, and then like we get some narration, nobody cares. And then we get this scene where there's a bunch of people in these like hoods. They're wearing like this hoods with the eyes on, like black KKK hoods or something like
Mm.
that. Like, is this a cult?
It
I mean,
seems
it
like
could be.
some sort of
Or they part of the church that this guy was being carried in? That's
perhaps
later in
so.
the
It seems
trailer.
like this movie is going to be very faction heavy. Star Wars, like empires and
Yeah, but I feel like there's a
different,
pseudo religion aspect to the factions as well,
Yeah.
which
What's
Also,
may
Snyder's like faith? Can I just like ask that question? What's Snyder's faith? Because this guy's obsessed with religion, bro.
hold on, we do not need to know that. But also, speaking
that's
of those
possible.
guys in the hoods, uh,
The
wait,
guys in the hood. What about them?
hold up, bro, hold up there, brother. Let's continue. Let's stop there. Anyway,
Yo, oh man,
okay, the guys in the hoods. The way they actually positioned there, I feel like they're actually there for like some kind of execution purpose.
It
'Cause, like,
really gives like that's what I was saying. Is this like some sort of cult thing? Because it really gave off the impression that like they wearing the hoods because they're about to be executed.
yeah,
I got the same
and on their
impression, and
knee.
like
Oh,
Jim and Hounds, this guy just has to watch. Is if he's in the same scene, this could be trailer magic.
I mean, I could quickly go back and try and check because the way that the trailer does frame it, it does look as if he's looking somewhere in the distance, and then we get the next cut to them, a close up of them.
Yeah. Because like
Yeah,
he
it's
seems like
it's,
he's
it's
in a
kind of
forest.
unclear. It's kind of unclear.
You see, it's like is this trailer magic, or is he actually in the scene?
So I'm gonna say something dumb now, right? This just gives me 300 vibes. I don't care what anyone says. Somebody can say in the comment section, "Oh, you see a bunch of people in armor and you think 300." Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, I'm not even gonna cap with you, bro. That's literally what I'm saying. I see a bunch of dudes in armor, and I'm like, this is 300. Zack Snyder did 300. Yes, guys in armor, 300. That's the connection I'm making. It can be
the
irrelevant,
camera,
but I just
the
want to point it out.
the camera
yeah.
filter and the way the camera's moving, also like the level of slow mo, it's also giving 300. I'll agree with you on that.
Not to say that that is a bad thing. It's just that I said to you guys off air, right? One of the things I feel as though I get from this trailer is that Snyder is sort of reincorporating. I don't want to say recycle because it almost sounds worse to say recycle. He's reincorporating a lot of the ideas that I feel he couldn't use to full effect in other projects in this project.
Mhm.
Case in point, the
So
Yeah,
cornfield, where
there's
the
exactly,
people are, just
yeah.
in a cornfield, and this one dude is legit touching this wheat. Wait, no, oh, sorry, my bad. It's not a cornfield.
he's a
He's
wheat
touching this piece of
field.
wheat. He's touching this wheat, and he's like, "Yo, hold up, why is he touching it like that?" And then he's holding, and then he
It
holds it
really
in
gives off a vibe like he's nostalgic for something. The way that the hand, I mean, let's not say he, they, I don't know. I didn't
it.
ask their pronouns.
I am
I don't
going
even
to
know
be
if they're human.
waiting for a scene where somebody implies that the main characters learn how to fight on a farm. I'm waiting for that.
Where'd you learn how to fight? On a farm? I love that scene so much. It's just such a like, yeah, if he did, then what? Like, you're still gonna lose, bro. You're still gonna catch the fade. Doesn't
I
matter where
still
you
beat the
learn.
shit out of you, bro.
Corn fed. There is some sort of joke you could make here, right? Like sort of to do with like an ass and a donkey and a farm. There's something you could do about there.
Lol. Yeah, probably.
I'm
One
just not
second.
smart enough to make the joke, but the point I'm getting at is just that the way that the scene is shot gives me this impression that this person's supposed to be kind of nostalgic. Their hands is gliding across the wheat, and they're like, "Oh, I remember the days." It gives that vibe.
Wasn't that like the intro to the Justice League trailer? I think where I think Lois is like at the farm, feeling nostalgic. I could have my
Give me
wires very
six.
crossed. Wow.
Wait, what? Hold on,
I
I
mean,
zoned out there for a second.
it seems as though that's what happens between the two of them. They kind of just exist for a couple of seconds, and then they're like, "Oh man, I want six now."
Bathtub scene.
Um,
Anyways, um,
Exactly. That's the
there's an
extent of their
article
relationship, bro.
that I read where like I think Snyder himself actually said, no, the producer on Rebel Moon said that this movie is a culmination of all of Snyder's ideas and stuff put together into
That's
one
crazy. I didn't
Snyder
even know that.
thingy. Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that, bro. Hold on a
Yeah.
second. Now I feel like that's cope. I feel like that's them trying to say beforehand, before anyone can actually point out, hold on, I've watched this movie already. They say, we told you actually. We already told you that it's basically a combination of all his other
I'll
stories.
I'll
Remember?
actually go
We
and try
said
and
that.
looking for the actual quote. But you guys go on for a bit.
Yeah, no, that feels like they're actually trying to now preempt any sort of criticism that can be levied their way by saying, no, but we told you already beforehand.
Yeah.
So that's kind of sus. But anyways, that being said, right? We kind of go through more wheat fields. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be this person we saw at the beginning of the trailer, them flashbacking, right? Because
Oh, here it
there's
is.
someone who kind of
Sorry.
just picks up wheat and blows it.
This dude
Oh yeah,
says,
go.
this is a culmination of all that we've done with storytelling, franchise telling, world building, said producer Wesley Collar, who has collaborated on Snyder's projects all the way back to his days of shooting commercials. He has a way bigger universe in mind, even beyond the first two films. World creation is a really hard thing. Uh, there are very small handful of filmmakers who could pull it off. And then, yeah, he ends his quote over there.
Well, okay, so there's a lot to go through there. Can you quickly read it back to me? And then I want you to stop when I say stop so that we can just break it down word for word here. Something here doesn't feel
No
right to me.
problemo.
So just quickly
This
respond.
is a culmination of all that we've done with storytelling, franchise telling, world building. And then
Pause.
he continues. Okay.
Pause. What does that got to do with this movie? This movie is what he's essentially saying then to me is what we've done with other franchises, we plan to do here but better. Right? So what
Yeah.
I'm getting from that is that this movie is more so like a proof of concept. Like it's like, hey, we want more movies in this. Like we want a franchise out of this movie, and they just outright saying it to people that we're not trying to make a movie that
Yeah.
is good. We're trying to make a franchise.
That was because in the initial like announcements and news drops of Rebel Moon, what Snyder was working on, it was said that like, listen, Snyder's working on this thing that's meant to be pitched as a franchise, as a world, as a universe moving forward. It's not just a one and done thing. And I was like, I think that's where you guys kind of like jumped the gun a bit, man. Like,
I don't know if it's
man.
like jumping the gun. It just kind of feels icky, because it kind of means that like it's about selling an idea and that's it,
Mm.
right?
They
It almost
probably
feels as
like
though the
that, yeah.
craft behind it doesn't matter at this point. It's more about trying to basically you make one good product so you can make an assembly line of that same product.
And
It
it's like
feels
already
like that.
split into two parts. There's already a director's cut, and it's like,
Exactly. So it feels now that everything after this is more so going to be bait, at least from my impression, right? I feel now everything after this is going to be bait. It's like we need to bait you into watching the next one, into watching the next one, into watching the next one. And I mean, maybe I'm just jumping on my own little gun here. Gun. But yeah.
Oh, okay. So when he makes it, the people know it, but when I do it, no, it
Shut
goes
up.
unnoticed. Damn, oh, yeah, hold up. Nah, I need my recognition. Give me my
You know,
recognition.
it's the governor
no,
status, man. It just
mm,
it does
No,
that.
nah,
no.
I'm legit the quiet kid who said a joke, but then the more confident kid said it louder, and everyone hears it. Nah, this is not right.
Exactly. This is exactly how it works. We've established this. Uh,
All you gotta do is get a weapon and pull up the school. That's all you have to do, Colonel. That's all you have to do.
Bro, you literally just gave me PTSD when you said all you have to do, because I immediately flashed back to San Andreas, like all you had to do was follow the damn train, CJ. And I was just like, oh
Okay.
no, what is
Oh,
he about to say?
all you had to do was make a director's cut, Snyder. Anyway, so
Yeah,
then it continues, and he says
yes.
he has a way bigger universe in mind, even beyond the first two films.
Pause.
He continue. Okay.
Pause. What? Is that a flex? Are you trying to flex? Oh, this guy planned out how to make a sequel to a movie. That's not a flex. If you want to make a movie that has a sequel, you need to plan it out. Why are you trying to make it sound almost as if, like, imagine somebody did that, like, to you guys? Oh man, I'm going to make this album, right? I'm gonna make this album, and I'm gonna make a song that's a sequel to another song in the album, and I've already planned it out. You're not gonna look at them and be like, man, I'm so proud of you. You're such a genius.
Bro,
It's like,
it
bro, you
almost
said you're gonna start a franchise. You need to know what's going to be in the franchise. You can't flex and say, "Oh, we actually already have another movie planned in the franchise." It's like, yes, I expect at least that much, bare minimum.
also like this kind of also seems like they're doing this thing of like, hey, Snyder can build universes, hey, like look at all, wow, he's so,
Look at all the
you
universes is
know
built. Points
look at
to
all the
like
universes is built,
nothing.
like this guy,
Points to
he's just
empty air.
like, you need
Yeah.
this guy, like if you want universes, he's the guy, it's like,
Who are they trying
okay.
to sell this to, bro? Like, it seems as
I,
though like they're trying to sell it to someone else that isn't Netflix or the audience. Like, guys, he
okay.
can build a universe. Trust, guys. Guys, he can do it.
I just want to take this moment to say I'm still waiting for 300 and the number three. So if that's ever gonna
303.
happen, just just tell me. I need to know. Is it gonna happen or not, so that I can stop worrying. I want to see what happens
Moving
because it seemed like they were about to like go after the great God King, whatever his name was. Anyway,
Fake
Then he
fan.
continues saying, world creation is a really hard thing. There are very small handful of filmmakers who could pull it off. And he
and
ends it
he is
with
Okay,
not
is
that.
this
one of
throwing
them.
shots at someone? Is this actually him trying to say James Gunn sucks?
Boycott
Uh,
James Gunn, hashtag.
what do you mean by that? Wink, wink,
I'm
nudge,
just going
nudge.
off of the what governor is saying.
I mean,
Oh yeah, Snyder then adds here more on this movie than others. I did more drawings, and it's like, storyboarding. We know he does that. Okay, cool. Um,
isn't that like saying what he said earlier that he already thought out other stuff in the universe? Why is he saying it again?
Oh yeah, it says with this, I was not super interested in a theoretical release, especially with the PG-13 versus extended cuts. I feel like with the theoretical release, the way the model is, it takes
Theatrical.
some energy out of it. Theatrical, yeah.
I was about to say theoretical. Hold on, are they not releasing this?
Uh,
Okay, no, that one I think that is irrelevant. I think most of the interesting stuff to glean from what he's saying and how he's saying comes from the beginning. It feels like there is a lot more meaning behind those words that you could probably draw out. But I feel as though if you're going to pitch a franchise to someone, you should be able to say, okay, we can make one movie and make that movie have a sequel and make a spin off movie. So when you flex and say, we're going to make a sequel and a spin off movie, that sounds stupid.
Yep.
Because you were supposed to do that already. The fact that you are ahead on your class project doesn't mean that like anything at all, actually.
Yeah. So let's like, I guess, go on with
Someone
this
wasn't
trailer.
there in any of their class
We
projects. That's
passed
why
the
we're so
wheat
mad.
fields.
We still at the wheat field. I'm trying to ask, like, is there any meaning that you guys have from this yet? Because there's a guy picking up wheat and he's putting it in his hand and he's blowing it away. And it's like,
Blowing
what
it.
the F is this dude doing, bro? That's your food, right? Is this not food, maybe? Why is he doing that?
I don't know
The only
about you,
thing-
but I just felt mad uncomfortable in that scene. I don't know why. Something
You
about
were
that scene makes me
intruding.
feel uncomfortable.
You were like, hey, am I supposed to be here? Am I?
You could-
do
you
you
could
wanna?
smell
Do
his
you need to get a
breath.
room?
Yeah, you can smell his, like, you're uncomfortable. You're like, damn, bro. When was the last time you kind of brushed? The only implication I get from this scene is that Snyder telling us that these guys are, because the whole premise is that these farmers go and save the universe, and it's like, okay, I guess they're farmers. He's showing us.
I don't know if I
whatever.
should try and make connections. Yes, that's supposed to be the connection to Luke Skywalker. Usually, being a farmer, he was most a moisture farmer.
He was?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Star Wars.
Yeah,
viewers,
no, that's
sorry.
why I'm giving the detail now. It's like, should I make that connection or not? Because that was their job. They farm moisture.
Wow.
So I don't know. Is that supposed to be like? Do we make the link
Snyder
there?
is
That,
not beating the allegations, bro.
I don't know. I don't wanna. Then we see a statue get blown up.
Yeah. Which,
What?
you
And
know,
moving on. I literally have nothing to say about that. It's like, okay,
it looks nice.
they blow up a statue. I'm not sure. Like maybe when you watch it, they will explain why they blew up that statue. But for now, it just feels like a shot that's made for a trailer.
Hold up. You said when we watch it.
Yeah, when we
Excuse
watch
me?
it.
We. Who is we? We. No.
We will. This is the
Bro,
commitment
this
you
man
made
is
by
saying
reacting
we.
to the
No.
trailer.
No,
This
I
man
thought
is
we just
saying
watched the
we,
trailer.
and
No,
he's the
no,
first one
you
who's gonna
can't do
watch
this
it.
to me. Not again. No.
No,
Hold
no,
up,
no, no,
hold
no, no,
up.
no, no. Listen. You reacted to the trailer. You have said to the president that you will be watching this. Why else react to the trailer?
No,
You're
no.
literally Mbappe right now. You're beaten no matter what.
Bro just wants to badmouth Snyder and leave. Really? Come on, fam.
No, I don't want to watch the movie.
Hey,
Please
this is
don't
at
make me
least
do it.
this at least probably looks better than Secret Invasion. Like, you know.
Yeah. And then we have a
That's the way
white
to do it.
griffin there in the background. For those eagle-eyed viewers, there's a white griffin. Remember, there's another griffin later.
Why? What's with the
Symbolism.
Griffins? Yeah, they in the
Symbolism.
church or something. They're
Yeah.
carrying the dead king. I think it's a
Yeah,
king.
so there's something with that slave guy and his black griffin, and someone's going to fight with the white griffin. They're gonna fight each other, and that's gonna be symbolism for good versus evil.
Yeah, yin and yang, black and white. So
Exactly.
cool.
And then we see like this chick walking through like a burning village? Question mark.
People, filmmakers like doing this thing of like the burning houses and then there's water and there's fire underwater. It's like, okay.
Yeah, and then we get like a spaceship with red rockets. Is that the bad guy's spaceship?
Is that burning
Dun,
both is clear
dun,
symbolism?
dun, dun, dun,
Really,
dun, dun.
things being burnt down and water, giving life, the way of the water, it's just a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to a reference to James. Wait, no, oh, sorry, I mean Cameron. Wait, what's his name?
Bro, you need to slow
Sorry,
down.
Oh man,
Oh my
You
gosh,
need
the
to
guy
slow
who made
down. You're
Avatar.
stumbling over yourself.
you
The
need to
treadmill is
calm
on too
down
high a setting.
immediately.
I forgot his name. The guy who made Avatar. It's a reference
James
to the way of
Cameron.
water.
I'm sure you
Yeah,
will love this movie
yeah, water's
Would
right
he?
there.
I
'Cause
thought he
there's
doesn't
farms.
like. I thought he didn't like masculine movies.
No, the farms. You will love the farms environment.
I thought he said testosterone is poison or something weird like that.
Mm.
Maybe that was
This is a
taken out
movie
of
with a
context.
female lead. How is that testosterone?
Because of all the explosions.
I'll
Anyway,
wait for him to, get over that phase of his. But yeah,
there's this chick who's beating like a bell.
clock bell thing.
I'm guessing that's like to warn people about the bad guy ships that have the red engines, question mark.
Yeah, and then like I think someone
Maybe
asked her
the
like, "What are they coming to take?" And then she's like, "Everything."
Everything.
does she know
Yeah,
them? That implies that she's maybe like she a defected soldier, perhaps.
yeah. That's what I was like thinking. Cause what you call it? The way she, how do I say this? The way she be looking at him, like, yo, nah, this is just not it. And this kind of like gives me that makes me think of that wartime hero who's like, okay, guys, I've done my fighting. I'm gonna go to a farm now. You see the farm reference again? That's right there. See, we go full circle, full
And
circle.
Is
Snyder
this
did say
but
in
is
when
this
he was
Modok,
like,
by the way?
No. Oh, I was thinking this bra looks familiar. Hold on.
oh, now you yeah.
It
Nice.
might be. It might be.
Modok the farmer.
He stopped being an
Yeah.
asshole.
No, wasn't it? Don't be a dick. And he's like,
Oh
I don't know
yeah,
how to.
yeah.
I think that was the joke. But yeah, so you were saying,
Yeah,
Colonel?
Oh no, I'm finished with what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you were gonna like break down the war hero guy thing, who became a farmer.
Yeah, peace, love. That's all the
I
stuff we
was gonna
love.
say on that Snyder he mentioned back when he was talking about like Man of Steel, BVS, his universe stuff in the DCU that like he's fascinated by the whole thing of the heroes that go to war and come back home and how that affects them and how
Oh
things are
no!
different, etc.
Oh no!
And then he mentioned something about how that's why he wanted Lois to like hook up with Batman. Man, yeah,
I'm sorry, what?
that's
Lois
a whole
hook up
nother
with
video.
what? I'm sorry, what? I'm
Sweet
lost.
child, sweet
You
child.
should you should not be. I think you were there when we were discussing this, but you know what? That's great that you don't remember.
It's good that you forgot, man.
And
Anyway,
I hope
then we have a shot of like the space Nazis. Um,
Yeah, and they're looking real menacing.
yeah, clearly. Why do they always cast this guy to play these roles, bro? I forgot his. I don't know his name. Forgot this guy from Deadpool.
I mean, he's a good bad guy. Gotta give him
Yeah, he's
that, right?
really good at playing this role. But yeah, we clearly this is the Empire. You know,
yo, guys, why are you just assuming he's a bad guy?
He
Maybe he's
obviously
look at
actually
him.
is.
good in
Look at
this
look at
Look at
that
him.
movie.
smug look on his face, bro. He knows what he's doing. He's like, oh, I'm
Look at
so
his
bad.
haircut.
Yeah, he
Look at his
knows
haircut.
he's doing good, guys. Trust me. Why are you guys
Listen,
not gonna assume he's bad?
listen.
Look at his fresh
Villains
cut.
have presentation. He's got the presentation, okay?
Yeah, sleek tattoo, fresh cut, cheekbones. Come on, man.
Yo,
Um
nah.
Come on, man. This guy's a villain.
okay, I'm skipping a bunch of the war stuff because I don't even know what we're supposed to interpret. We then get a spider person.
Yeah, that was yeah, you
Whatever the
know.
hell that means. They never get
Mhm.
lightsabers, but they've got smoke on them, so they legally distinct from lightsabers.
And
Oh,
someone
oh yeah.
said on Twitter, like, and I quote, "Oh, Zack Snyder made lightsabers look cool."
Oh,
Ah yes, because they never looked cool before. Man.
yeah. It's not like there's like a whole fandom of it dedicated to just learning how to use it, or even just buying it or everything. But that doesn't
As
exist.
if there's not an entire fandom dedicated to deciphering what each person's lightsaber means based
Hmm.
off of their character, such as like Kylo Ren's lightsaber having that weird static sound in it, and the way it looks being representative of his instability as a person. You know, it's not like people do stuff like that because they think these things look cool.
Yeah,
Obviously,
Mhm.
as we all
that,
know.
yeah. That doesn't happen. That doesn't exist. Yeah, guys, it's just a fever dream. You guys made it up in your head. Anyway, before you continue, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the name Scargiver. I'm
Yes.
just
Mm.
I would like to know why would you come up with the name Scargiver? Because I'm assuming this name came during like war times, and like in war, it's a pretty scarring event. I assume I've never been there.
So
Hopefully,
she
I
gives
never go.
war, is what you're saying, right? Ah,
No,
yes.
no,
Peak,
no. I'm just saying.
peak. This is cinema.
You know,
I'm just wondering how did she like differentiate herself from the rest. Because, like, yo, the fact that she is now being called Scar Giver, I'm like, okay, movie, okay, do your thing, but
Maybe she was running around during the war times, right? And she like stabbed some people, and she says when that heals, it become a scar, and I gave it to you. And then another guy's like, "What are you, some kind of scar giver?"
hold up, hold
Wow.
up, hold up. Don't steal my joke before I make it, you jerk. Anyway, what I was about to say
That
is
that
like,
was
I
what you're
feel like
building
she
up
was like
to.
the most, she might have been like the most insufficient killer. Like she just beating everyone up, cutting them up, but then just leaving them for dead. Like, yeah, you will die, suffer, and then somehow they, like a lot of them still stay alive, and then they get to like an infirmary or talking like a mid bay. They're like, oh, yo, guys, I was just beat up by this one person. I was definitely not a girl. I mean, I'm assuming they would have been hiding like this. Okay, never mind. If they never mind, okay, they take it back. Take it back. They was, but yeah,
I sense sexism.
yeah. I just
I
got beat up
detect
by this.
sexism.
I
Like
just got beat up by
the
this
whole
chick.
you've been digging
I'm
this hole. You just keep digging,
I'm trying to move past it now. I just
but
got
you
beat
keep
up by
going
this.
back.
I I got beat up by this chick, and as they continue with their stories, they're like, "Whoa, hold up, we talking about the same person." Yeah, yo, she gave me a lot of scars. She didn't kill me. I wish she did, because I have to go around looking like this. And then some guys like, "Yo, yeah. I mean, yo, that just sucks. That sucks to be you." And then another person like,
I,
"Yeah, guys, it would have
what
been
I
better
picture
if
like
I died than to
is
live with
like
the scar she gave me." And then some random guy like, "Yo, hold up, what you say?" It would have been better if I died. No, no, no. After that, I have to live with the Scar she gave me. Oh my gosh, dude, that is such a badass name, Scar
Scar
Giver.
gave.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "We'll workshop it. We'll workshop it."
we'll workshop. Yeah, Scar gave. Yeah,
Oh nah. Oh, okay, that's my rant over. Done. Okay, we can go.
man.
Okay, George, you wanted to say something? I have something I also want to ask you guys because as Colonel was explaining to us now, I was like, "Hey, this feels familiar." But you can
Uh,
say whatever you want
I,
to say first.
I, 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 I want to remember that I wanted to mention that you were looking through this trailer and you see all these fights, all these scenes, all these gun fights, and it kind of gives me the impression that this movie is gonna have a lot going on, a lot of things being set up, a lot of things just being done, and it's not gonna actually really get anywhere in terms of story, given the fact that this is a part one of two, and given the fact that no offense, this is a Snyder film. So like, yeah, just things are gonna happen and happen and happen and happen and then mean things and it's like there's no plot really. So
Yeah,
yeah.
the
Hmm.
fact that sorry to interrupt. The fact that you mentioned it's a part one of two got me thinking. Maybe it's just because I'm not that well versed in trailers, because I generally don't watch them. But anyway, with the part one of two, like in this trailer specifically, are they like saying this is like the entirety of part one, or are they like cutting bits and pieces from part one and part two and putting it in here? So I'm like wondering, okay, which one would be in part one,
I
which one would be in
That's
part
a
that's
two?
good question.
that's a good question.
Yeah, because the names kind of like make me think, oh wait, so is the first one supposed to be the setup to the second one? Because I mean,
I
the
mean,
second one is called Scargiver, and like they found her, so I'm assuming she only comes in movie number two,
Because
or
the budget combined is 166 million and it's like that sounds like one movie. The split into
I
two.
actually want to, now that like Colonel brought that up, I would actually like to bring up a different question that I have now. Do you think that perhaps the point in making this be called part one instead of just the Rebel Moon and then having another one be called Rebel Moon 2 or whatever, do you think that by saying part one they want to lead people into thinking that this is like almost like the Spider-Verse situation where it's like this will cut off midway and then you will just pick up in the next one from where the previous one left off instead of like a sequel, as in that a sequel that takes place after the first movie? This is just like one movie that has been cut in half. And do you think it's like almost to try and sell the idea of the franchise?
I think it's a little bit of that, and also to create eventually this overarching saga. Watch out, this will become like this saga of some sort, that Snyder's working on. Also, I think it's something he likes to do because he did want to also split BVS into two parts. I don't know if you guys remember back in the gap. He wanted to
that's where I
split it
wanted to
into two
split.
parts.
Oh my bad. Just
No,
thought they
go ahead,
wanted
go
to.
ahead, Johnny.
Yes. No, I thought he just wanted to split the Justice League movie in two parts. Because I remember
That
if
too. That too.
He seems to have a habit of just not being able to make one movie.
Yeah, I think the first part of BVS was supposed to be like something about the dark sun or the dark night, and part two was supposed to be the sun of, I don't know, man, something about the sun in the daytime. Very weird. But eh, he seems to like this part one, part two thing. Yeah.
I don't think it's he likes part one, part two thing. I think he just can't decide how to edit the movie, and he's like, I'll just cut it in half and give one half and then the second half. I think that's all that happens.
oh no,
Mm.
does this mean I'm not
Which
getting 300 number three?
which goes into
No,
what
you're
you
gonna
mentioned
get
about
302
uh
part two.
Oh,
director's cuts. It
thank you.
says
No,
here.
before that. Oh, whoa.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
I wanted to ask again. I don't want to deliberately make these connections, but it's like, hold on. But like, I feel like there is a connection here. Do you feel as though this might be Snyder trying to capitalize off of the idea he had for Batman giving criminals scars before sending them to prison?
Mm.
Because he like a lot of people criticize that and they were like, nah, bro, why did you do that? So like, do you think it's now he's like, oh, I'm allowed to do it now because like I get to decide with my characters?
Hmm. They did say it's a culmination of like all this storytelling and franchise
Exactly.
stuff,
That's
and
what I mean.
and a lot of we've already seen a few things that could be like Man of Steel or like Justice League, nods. So who says this isn't a
Because
Batman
I
nod?
wouldn't be shocked if Scargiver does that. She gives the scar to warn people that she's the one who sent them, something like that. It's like, because that's basically what Batman did when he branded the criminals.
Yeah, and then everyone there was like, I Batman sent him. Get
Time
him.
to kill this guy. How dare you get beat up by Batman, moron,
Yeah.
loser.
That wouldn't be me though. Look at me, I have no brand. Boom.
But yeah, okay. Yeah, so you're getting to the director's cut stuff.
Yeah, I'm just looking how I can. Okay, so Snyder says here, my big fans would say, "Why the f with what the f is wrong with you?" Right? Just do extended cuts. And he said in the initial conversations with Netflix, they made a part of the plan. And then he continues, "I can't help myself. I was always inspired by movies like Brazil. I don't know that movie. There's a great history of director's cuts. It's like another movie to discover. There's this other tug, rabbit holes. It's amazing." For me, with my drawings, there ends up being a lot a lot of that to tell a deeper dive story. With director's cuts I've done in the past, in a vacuum, it's how the movie would exist. It's part of my relationship with fans. um and then somebody here has also something to say about his director's cut. They mentioned that like it's a lot more, and it's like an extended universe version of Rebel
The
Moon.
extended universe that he's
Yeah,
trying to make.
it's an hour of extra content, so I think it's a legitimate extended universe version. You really get to see a lot. It's just more painted in all the way. The director's cut is
He's the Snyder cut.
So
settled
basically
into
like the
time.
Snyder cut where actually every shot is just longer, and that's why it's an hour of extra content, because now you get to see someone walk into the wheat field, walk out of the wheat field, then talk about how they felt walking in and out of the wheat field. Hour of extra
Yep.
content.
And he says that like it's something he's notoriously done throughout his career. He doesn't know how he got into the director's cutting, but he will say, um, for him, director's cuts have always been something that he had to fight for in the past and nobody wanted. It was a bastard child that he always wanted to put together. He felt that there was a deeper version of his movies, and with
Hold on,
Netflix,
that is
you
just a
know,
stupid comparison to be made. Normally, a bastard child is a child you had out of wedlock or a child you were not supposed to have, and you're trying to hide them. It's not something that other people are trying to hide. Normally, it's you who's hiding them because you did something wrong. What do you mean a bastard child in terms of like a director's cut? People want director's cuts. It's just that yours
uh,
aren't worthwhile, bro.
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't fall into the trap of making his director cut something that actually makes the movie make sense. Like say now there's like
Yeah,
bits and pieces in the movie that kind of feel a bit like this well, not discombobulated. I mean what's the word I'm looking for? Like they don't mesh well with each other. But then with his director's cut, then you get like an extra content. You see, oh, so that's what happened there. I just hope it doesn't fall into that kind of thing again. Because
Batman
yeah.
v Superman.
Dawn of Justice.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like the thing is, I think it's one of those things that we all here might have different takes on. I view the director's cuts as actually way more important and valuable personally than the actual theatrical release. But that's only because I get the impression that the when it's released in theaters, it's meant to be like a crowd pleaser, essentially, right? Like you can go watch it, you can sit down, grab your popcorn, and just enjoy the
It's the
experience, right?
studio's cut of to make money and stuff, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas the director's cut is more so almost like a thing that they wanted people to see, but maybe they weren't allowed to because of whatever concerns the studios and investors might have had. So it's like I do place a lot of value on them, but I think there's a very big difference between trying to turn your movie into DLC and making a director's cut. And I feel Snyder oftentimes wants DLC for his movies.
The Snyder Pack. Pre-order now, get the Snyder
Yeah.
Pack.
Because like I don't like I would love to like have like just the question be asked as to what does he believe, right? Like of not this movie in particular, but maybe previous project. What does he believe his director's cuts have given to the fans that was valuable? Because he's talking about this as a thing that the fans appreciate and stand for the fans as well as something that he really wants to do, right? So I
Mm.
would really like to know what is the thing he feels he is offering the fans with any particular movie's director's cut, right? Because like Colonel said, some of the time it's because there is important details that is not in the theatrical release, which is bizarre because it's like he might try and convince you that no, that's a real nugget, it's a real Easter egg. It's like no, that's an important part of the movie you refuse to add into the theatrical version, and now you're trying to kind of steer people
And
down a different pipeline by then telling them, oh no, it will make sense in my cut.
And I think this is something you'll do again because he did say that like the director's cut is going to add more layers to Rebel Moon Part One and Part Two, and like give you a more like a revelation of certain things in the studio cut, right? Things will now make more sense and stuff, and things will now connect more. And it's like, okay, so you omitted certain things on purpose for your director's cut to, be the superior version, I guess, that has all these things that
I mean,
connect the dots.
Okay, so Rebel Moon, Onion confirmed. Onions have layers. Ogres have layers.
yeah.
So does Rebel Moon.
Glass Onion.
Yeah.
Oh, why?
There's also gonna be a game of Rebel Moon. We're talking about DLCs. There's gonna be a Rebel Moon game
Yeah.
because
I
Netflix
hate
makes
people
games
bringing that
now.
to my attention. Why?
I don't want to sound
Yeah.
like I'm like some sort of like I don't know, like artsy fartsy kind of douchebag, but really I feel like there's no artistic value being put into this. It feels really like there's an idea that needs to be sold before any artistic merit can be added to it.
It's all part of Snyder's first look deal with Netflix. They gave him money and leeway to create projects that he wants to do for a certain amount of time. He did Army of the Dead. He did Army of Themes. Now he's doing Rebel Moon.
Yeah, him and Johnson, they're both like kind of
Oh yeah.
doing
Oh
this.
yeah. Yeah.
But
Johnson is also.
that aside, I kind of just feel as though there's almost like a malicious undertone, not really malicious, but you know, like there's again, it feels icky for
Cloak and
me when
Dagger.
like yeah, exactly, when Snyder's trying to make it sound as though the director's cut is something valuable to him and to the fans, whereas it seems to me as though he's almost crossing wires here with like making a movie with like a lot more context, a lot more juicy details and stuff like that that you wouldn't have gotten in a theatrical version. He's now just putting in actual plot points in the director's cut and then saying, no guys, go watch my director's cut. This is a different rabbit hole, and it's like it's not a rabbit hole, you
It's
just
like
gave us the
he
actual
wrote a
information we need.
it's like he wrote a novel, and certain things about like characters in the world he hid it with like ink that you can only see under UV lamp. So if you shine the UV lamp, you can see this part of like the story, and that's vital. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really interesting. I might actually do that one day. Yeah, you heard it here first, guys. Anyway,
Yeah, no, I
um,
mean, like, I feel like that something like that, as long as it's got details that, like you know, like if you said like, oh man, I've got like this character named Abaddon in my story, and Abaddon becomes like a demon at some point in the story, right? And then in your little UV ink, you detail, oh, they became a demon because of this, and the person who did it was his name was Azrael, and Azrael turned that Abaddon into like a demon dragon thing, and now that's how it happened. And it's like, oh, you just told me like an entire different story. Hold on, bro. This is not juicy details. This is a plot.
This is important information.
It's kind of feels to be like at that point it's like nah, bro. Like, but if you put like details as to be like, oh man, like Abaddon was always like a guy who couldn't tell the difference between what was just and what had to be done, you know. And they always confused those two things that they always felt that no, but like if I need to do it, that means it's because it's hard to do because it's justice or something, right? Like you could add something like that someone could be like, oh man. So then they probably like fell down this deep like rabbit hole,
Wow.
you know. But that's just me. I think you could also add like other things, you know, like like smaller details as to maybe being like certain characters who maybe know each other, right? In a movie, for example, that you maybe in your director's cut you put there something to if for those eagle-eyed people, right, or true fans to notice this thing, so they can be like, I knew that this person had a reason for knowing so and so other character, even if it's just like something like a screensaver on their phone that wasn't in the theatrical cut. That you see on the phone, the screensaver maybe has this person standing with the daughter of a person B, and then later on in the film, it's like, hey, you know person B? And like, yeah, of course I know person B. We go way back. And then you as an audience member who has watched the director's cut, it's like, yeah, I saw that screensaver that kind of gave me the impression they do go way back because he has a screensaver of that person's daughter, right? Stuff like that. Not, oh, this person they met and they go way back, and this is how they went way back. 1 hour of extra content, guys.
Which you must sit through. Which is
Oh,
like
gosh.
more or less the same stuff, but yeah. But yeah, like so final thoughts on Rebel Moon, guys.
Looking forward to it. I once started to make good content instead of this trash that he's been making for the past like decade or something. That would be nice, you know.
Well, I don't want to watch it, but apparently
You're
I
going
signed
to.
Stop lying.
I
Stop
signed the
lying.
deal when I watched the trailer. So apparently I have to now. So yeah, there's that. I'm not excited about it.
Oh,
So yeah.
one thing I would like to compliment, by the way. I get this feeling of I don't know, like it's almost like a weird mix, but each individual part meshes together, but you can still notice the individual parts as well. It's hard to explain, but I do get that strong kind of westerny vibes, but also alien space vibes as well. You know, almost like a if humanity were to go to space, it feels like the technology they have access to, at least from what I've seen in the trailer, it feels like this could be stuff that we could reasonably have as well if we were to go to space, like in the next 50 years or something. You know, the guns
Yeah.
look like guns, but also enough not like guns that it's like we don't have those on Earth, right? So
I
if
think
that thing
it
shooting a
did.
laser makes sense.
Snyder did mention it's gonna be like a space western type of thing
I
going
mean,
on.
that's Star Wars, so of course.
Wow!
That is literally Star Wars.
Wow!
Star Wars is like a
Wow!
space western samurai film.
Wow! Okay, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up.
Hold on. Before we go, I just want to make one note. Pardon me. I just want to say a few things. One, the trailer was it was okay. It was okay. But I just want everyone to notice that as soon as Zack Snyder's name dropped, the beat changed. I just wanted to put out there like, yo, Zack
Like I
Snyder
said,
really came like that.
it's very self-indulgent. Like you can see, like this trailer is the
Yeah,
like trailer
yeah,
version of oh, I'm feeling myself. Bite your lip and look at yourself in the mirror. This is what
yeah.
that trailer is, bro.
It's me, nigga.
Yeah, Zack Snyder really understand
This
the
is the light
best.
skin. This is
I am
light
your
skin of
savior.
trailers, bro.
For
Yeah,
real,
Zack. Mm-hmm.
light
Yeah,
skin
Zack Snyder.
pose.
I am your savior, guys. Trust. Embrace the vision.
Man, he really, yeah, bro. Yeah, well, guys, stay safe out there. Always do you. Always look good doing it. This has
Also,
been
slow mo doesn't make your movies cool. Stop it.
Yeah, what the governor said. Listen to the governor.
Don't listen to them.
Or don't listen
Slow-mo
to him.
makes everything cool.
Listen to Kono Senpai. You know.
Yeah,
Uh,
just remember what they did in the flood.
Then you add that
well,
in the editing room, you go add that JoJo's Zawardo sound effect, then poof, and then that tick 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 tick. You can add
oh
that.
man. Uh, peace out, guys.
I'm always surprised at how much we can talk about something
Yeah,
Yeah.
I honestly thought it
Same.
was
because
like 30 minutes and below, but here we are, almost at an hour.
we're making content, gents. We're making content. People are gonna ask for this one day. They're gonna be like, "Oh man, 20-minute video, lame."
Give us the director's cut of this video.
Give us the Cannonball director's cut.
Oh,
Oh man.